Well, we came to the end. We've come to the end of our Genesis series. It only took us 6 weeks ago, 800 chapters or something like that.
50.
50 chapters in 6 weeks. That's pretty good. I'm a little tired.
I'm exhausted.
It's a lot. Hey, listen, great job today talking about the story of Joseph. And since you've been steeping in the story of Joseph, I've got a question here for you. Okay?
Bring it.
So if Joseph were living today, how do you think he would use social media to share these dreams and experiences?
Is this a serious question?
Yes.
Right now?
Would he still face the same sibling rivalry, or would it play out differently in a digital?
Oh
age?
no, he'd be so much more in trouble. I don't think there's any cisterns to throw him into, but he would present himself on TikTok if that's still around, Facebook, X, all the things. His brothers would be furious. There'd be a lot of what's the term when you
doxing?
Yeah, gaslighting, doxing. There's one where it's a lot of subtweets.
A lot of subtweets. Oh yes,
that's happening. I don't even know what word. Is it really? You wrote that down?
Yeah, I wrote that down.
You wrote words down like
like that, anyway. Just to get us started, because the other questions around that are pretty serious. How Joseph faced unbelievable adversity for years, decades of his young life. Can you share a time? And I don't want to compare you to Joseph, but can you share a time when your adversity in your life strengthened your faith, when you felt God's presence during a particularly challenging period in your life? Maybe you think about, COVID, something recent or something long ago.
Yeah, I mean, the low-hanging fruit for me is our adoption process, but I talk about that all the time, so I was trying to think of something different.
We're a little bored about that.
Yeah, it's so
I'm
boring
just kidding.
that we brought that beautiful kid home,
I know.
monster home. No, but I think that's the one that always holds true when it comes to adversity, because we really thought we were never getting a kid. When you're in a process for 6 years and it's not happening, that thing's not coming true, it's like, all right, I guess it is what it is, and you.
And not to belabor that, but did either one of you have dreams where you kind of had an idea of where this could go? Or?
No, we didn't have. We didn't have dreams. I think Amanda had. I mean, we had dreams in the sense of envisioning what our family could be, but not literal dreams.
Okay.
I think Amanda had a lot of moments where she was just literally in the closet praying, pleading, begging God to come through and help us adopt a kid, but yeah, that was a really tumultuous season where you're questioning so much about God and so much about, it's I think we're good at this parenting thing. Jericho seemed to be okay. He's functional sometimes. No, he's great, and I think it's what is it that's not allowing us to do this? And so yeah, that would probably be it for me.
That's a lot of adversity. I agree.
And then if you don't mind, watching my dad go through, my dad's my hero, and watching him get cancer was miserable and is miserable. The moments where when you recognize the mortality of people you love, that you always just saw as they would be there forever.
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks. That's not fun.
So difficult. Thanks for joining us today. This is a really great...
Our therapy session here.
Great time together. You mentioned that blessings are about what God intends to do through someone, not just to someone. And how can we as a community, as a congregation, shift our focus from seeking personal blessings to becoming these conduits that you talk about, these conduits of blessing others?
Yeah.
Using Joseph's story, using the story of other saints?
Yeah, I think the big thing is first, I think I said this in the sermon, is to not remove God from the situation, because we ultimately make blessing about us, and it's not about us. It's about God, what God's doing, how God's working. And so if something happens to me, which it's still a thing, it's just not primarily about that. So if God blesses us, that's God doing that work. If God's going to use us through adversity or through whatever difficult circumstances we're in, that's still God doing the work. And so often we have this mindset of I'm going to hunker down, I'm going to push through, I'm going to make it happen, and we remove God from the situation. I think it's the idea, our value of sharing advantage is one that comes to mind right away. Any advantage we have, we share with people without those advantages. Having this selfless, surrendered, humble approach to, hopeful approach to people we come across and interact with. I think it's so much the story of this. This entire story, cover to cover, is about so much about it's not about you, and it's like even when we get to the New Testament, it's about death to self and laying down your life for your friends, and like that's a big part of it. So I think holding on to those things and having that perspective when we're going through trial is like, how could God use this to bless someone else is huge. So.
And it's about, when it's not about you and it's about someone else, again, we have to do life in community. It's one of our main values. We do life in community. We can't just sit in a pew. We can't just sit online and watch a video or watch somebody, teach a lesson. We have to share what God's doing in your life. We have to be open to listen to what God is doing in others, and do this together in community. That's where all the riches come. That's when the blessings come through you to others. And so I hope that you will join us. Take that step to perhaps click a link and into the chat, or say something, or connect with us in Neighborhood Church, online or in person. We want that for you because we see so much richness for you in those situations. So I'm so glad you were here for Genesis, all six parts. If you missed one, go over to our YouTube channel and check out what you missed. I'm so glad you were here. Hope to see you next time.